Alrighty, at the Etihad Stadium, it is finished. Manchester City won, Arsenal nil. I was about to say Arsenal nil, Manchester City won, but that sounds just wrong. Manchester City won, Arsenal nil, and it was a tactical battle. That was what that was. That was Pep and Arteta, just a lot of trying to build out from the back, a lot of pressing, a lot of inversions of fullbacks and dropping in deep, and both teams trying to do the same thing. And I really feel like both teams essentially canceled each other out. The big difference in the game today was the personnel on the pitch. Guardiola went strong. I mean, he went strong. Haaland played. De Bruyne played. Rodri played. Stones played and ended up actually pulling his hamstring. He only made 2 changes from the weekend against Wolves, and one of those was the goalkeeper. So he went with a very, very strong team, and that was very, very clear. Arteta changed 6. He went with Turner, and more importantly, I think he went with only one starter in the back 5, so goalkeeper and the back 4. So no White, no Ramsdale, no Saliba, and no Zinchenko. So 4 out of the 5 starters or first-team players did not play in the match. You did have the midfielder Partey and Xhaka, but Partey came off after 45 minutes. And I didn't know. There was one moment in the game where Partey was holding his lower back or something like that. I felt like he looked towards the sideline, kind of put his hand up a little bit. That was around the 35th minute, I think. But I think it was – I don't think it was a planned substitution, but I don't think he's injured. And even the substitutions after that tell me something as well, that Arteta really wanted to use as many players as possible, but he, brings on Lokonga, who Sammy Lokonga is not going to be at this club, at Arsenal Football Club, much longer. Just walked off the pitch, didn't clap the fans. He's not mentally there. I don't care about whatever abilities he has. He's not mentally there. He can go wherever he wants. I genuinely don't care. Loan him out somewhere. He doesn't want to be here. Get out. It's that simple. He's not to the level that the team need. He's not to the mental level that team needs as well. You just watch him on the goal. He's just standing around. He's not shielding anything. Manchester City just attacked him, and that was that. So Sambi Lokonga is really the reason why Arsenal lost today. And so that is probably why Arteta was very probably cautious with Thomas Partey and whatever, it could have been planned for 45 minutes. It couldn't, it maybe wasn't. I think it was maybe just something precautionary. Maybe he felt something in his lower back, felt something in his hip, maybe. But I think he will be fine for the next game. And then obviously it also could be, and you can never doubt this, conspiracy theories and all this stuff, but you can never doubt this. It could be a message from Arteta to the board and being like, listen, I need that midfielder. And so that could be a message like that by substituting Thomas Partey. And so, we'll see what plays out there. But that's really where the game was won and lost. Once Thomas Partey came off the pitch and Lokonga had to play there, it's not the fact that Partey came off and everything breaks down for Arsenal. It's the fact that Partey comes off and whoever replaces him, which is in this case Sambi Lokonga, and it would have been Mohamed El-Neni, but and most likely El-Neni would have played today if he wasn't hurt. But Sambi Lokonga is not fit to play for this team, and that's very clear, and that is why Arsenal lost. They lose 1-0 to Manchester City, but in the long run, I don't think you're going to see this really hinder Arsenal at all, because they went toe-to-toe against Manchester City's strongest team, and they didn't really get outplayed. It was a very even match. Even on the XG totals, it was 0.58 to 0.34 or something between City and Arsenal. It's just not, it wasn't really that great to watch. It was more of a tactical battle, and City struggled at home against a weakened Arsenal side. So Arsenal and Arteta will take that, and the fans as well. The fans will take that and be like, okay. You have to beat, City has to beat Arsenal twice. And the one at the Emirates is the one that's going to be very, very challenging. And that's the one where Partey will play, and Saliba will play, and Zinchenko will play, and White will play, and Ramsdale will play, and Odegaard will play. All those players, except for Thomas Partey, I think I said, all did not start today. So, I think, you want to win every match. I'm sure Arteta tried to drill it into his players as much as possible that he wanted to win this match. And Martinelli, by the way, didn't play. We'll talk about Trossard in a second. But when you make that many changes, you are sending a clear indication of what your priorities are. And also, it's the right thing to do because you should have a squad big enough to be able to rotate, and you just simply can't play the same 13 players over and over and over. You do need 17, 18, 19 players. That is what you need. So he did what he had to do, and Arsenal, to be fair, they played well. Manchester City played their strongest team. They played the strongest team. Once you saw the lineups, they were supposed to and expected to win, and they really struggled. So I feel like, the FA Cup, yes, it's a trophy that we all want to win, but in the long run, listen, for Arsenal and for Arteta and for the fans, it's the league. It is the league that you're looking at, and I think there were a few things you could look at in between the lines that maybe Arteta was sending a message to the board in order to get that midfielder in, and we'll see how it goes. And to be honest, the rest of the game, there's not really a lot to talk about. Everyone played all right, except for Sambi Lakanga. And Trossard. Let's actually talk about Trossard. Looked really, really good today, actually. He came off after 60 minutes. Again, Arteta's substitutions felt pre-planned. They really did. Martinelli and Zinchenko coming on with 60 minutes after 60 minutes, replacing Tierney and Trossard. It felt like no matter what the situation was, that was going to happen. Even Bukayo Saka coming off and putting Fabio Vieira on the right. Like, these are not things that Arteta would be doing if he was going all out to win the game. And it's very clear that Arteta was not going all out to win the game. He was trying as hard as he can to win, but not put the personnel out there that he thinks would jeopardize the Premier League. That's essentially what he was doing, trying to get players rotated and also trying to get minutes into their legs. That's why you saw Rob Holding into the game, and I think he would have stayed on longer. But, he picked up that yellow card. Haaland and him were getting very physical, so you bring in Saliba. And Saliba handled Erling Haaland really, really well. So, it's very good for them. Trossard, real quick, did really, really well. I feel like he definitely had a very big attacking threat. I think he actually fits the team a little bit better if they're going against low blocks. I think if you, like, for example, like in Everton, I'm not saying start him over Gabriel Martinelli, but you could easily see that you could bring Trossard in with 30 minutes to go if there's a low block situation. Everton are sitting deep. Trossard feels like that player. He has the very, very top quality technical ability, probably better than Martinelli's at the moment, to break down opposing teams. And you put Zinchenko and Trossard on that left side, that should be really interesting. What he doesn't have compared to Martinelli is that lethal pace, that lethal quickness to take a man one-on-one. I think Trossard's more in that combination play, coming in combination. He still has speed, but it's not Martinelli pace. It's not even close. So I think Martinelli did really well coming on. Eddie Nketiah, he did well the first 45 minutes. He looked pretty fatigued towards the end. I mean, he was running all over the place, and that's because of the nature of the game. There was a lot of the game was played with goalkeepers, having the ball at their feet, both for City and for Arsenal. So it required a lot of pressing from the forward guys. So no big surprise that you saw Saka and Trossard get substituted. But the thing about Nketiah is that there is no substitution for him. You can maybe put Martinelli up top, but it doesn't seem like Arteta wanted to do that today. He keeps playing 90 minutes over and over and over. Jesus is about 5 weeks away from coming back. I'm not worried about Nketiah now because he is getting enough rest in between games. But in February, where you're going to have to play, February 11th, February 15th, February 18th, every 3 or 4 days, the game's going to be a lot more in that February area. And Nketiah playing all those games, all 90 minutes, seems a little bit unrealistic. So I feel like Arteta just needs to, until Jesus gets back, can you get Nketiah a 20-minute breather here or there? He's in great shape. He's been playing really well. He didn't play a lot in the first half of the season, so he's not really fatigued that much, but he's putting a lot of minutes in his legs since December 26th when they came back from the World Cup. Overall, I think it's a good day for Arsenal. We'll see what the transfer market comes in the next few days. And for news on Thomas Partey, was it a pre-planned substitution? Was it precautionary? I do believe it was precautionary. I don't think he's injured, but I think he probably felt something, just a precautionary thing. The Bukayo Saka and the Trossard and Tierney substitutions felt a lot more pre-planned that Arteta was going to rotate. So we'll see how it goes. 1-0. Congratulations to Manchester City. Remember, Pep Guardiola has only won the FA Cup once. I do think he would want to add another FA Cup to his pedigree, and so we'll see if Manchester City will be able to continue on. You'd have to say they're probably the favorites in the competition, because I think Newcastle are not in the FA Cup anymore, Chelsea are not in the FA Cup anymore, and now Arsenal are not in the FA Cup anymore. So those are three pretty big teams. You have Manchester City there, you still have Liverpool in there, you still have Manchester United, who are going for the Carabao Cup in there, and so you have Tottenham Hotspur, who are going to play a strong team in the FA Cup because they need that trophy. So that's their kind of the last thing they could really win this season, unless they make a miraculous run in the Champions League. So yeah, good day for Arsenal. I mean, you never like to lose. You always want to build a winning mentality, but in the end, you can't win every game. And Arsenal went up against the champions at their place against the strongest lineup. Played pretty well. We lost on Nathan Ake, a very good finish. Okay, like it's fine. Come back to the Emirates on February 15th. We'll have all the big boys playing. We'll have the atmosphere playing. By the way, that Manchester City atmosphere, oy, oy, oy. They don't really make a lot of noise, do they? Yeah, they really don't. But we'll see y'all on February 15th, and that game should be a lot of fun. And Manchester City will have the pressure on, because no matter what, heading into that game, I mean, we could lose our next 2 games. We'll still be in the lead. So they're going to have to come to the Emirates and beat us. Good luck with that. So that's going to be a lot of fun. See you guys later. Make sure you guys subscribe. Let me know your thought of the game in the comments down below. Follow me on Twitter and Instagram already. And take care of yourselves. Peace out.